Hello IGN, Keza McDonald here. With me is our UK Editor-in-Chief Alex Simmons.
Hello.
And we've just had the big news that the Xbox One launch date has been confirmed. When is it, Alex?
It's coming out November 22nd, so after the PlayStation 4 in the US, but before the PlayStation 4 in Europe.
So significant advantage.
Sandwiched between the two, shall we say.
So it's 7 days ahead, right?
Yeah.
So do you think this gives a great advantage to Sony that are launching 7 days ahead in the US?
Well, I think obviously Xbox has been kind of the main dominant force in the US, certainly for 360. So I think Sony needs that kind of head start. Whether it will give them the kind of head start or a big enough head start, I don't think 7 days is not an awful lot. I think also the other thing to bear in mind is the launch lineup. Obviously PlayStation has got more games, it's got 26 games at launch, Xbox has got 23. But out of the ones that I would go for, is certainly first party, I'm probably tending to favour Xbox One over PlayStation 4.
What have we got first party from Xbox One? There's Forza,
Rise,
Dead Rising 3.
Yes. So all pretty good games. And from PlayStation, you've got Drive Club, which looks okay, but I would personally go for Forza. You've also got Killzone, which looks great. Yeah, I'm definitely an FPS fan, but of course you're well catered for on next gen for FPSs because you've also got Call of Duty and Battlefield. So
that's right.
There's not going to be a shortage of those.
Exactly. And when you look at these two launch lineups, the ones that are the same are the ones that actually have my attention. Like I am more interested personally in next gen Assassin's Creed, next gen Battlefield, next gen COD, Battlefield person, but there's COD, there's FIFA, Watch Dogs, all games that I think most people were very excited for. But they're out on both consoles.
Yeah, I certainly think in terms of launch lineup, first party probably really won't come into its own until next year when we see the likes of Halo, hopefully a new Naughty Dog game coming soon, and obviously not first party but Titanfall exclusive to Xbox One. That for me is going to be a system seller.
That is a definite big deal. Of course, November 22nd is a historical day for Microsoft and Xbox. As that's also when the Xbox 360 launched.
So there you go.
In the US anyway.
So a few years later, and will history repeat itself? That is the question. And which will be the winner out of the two? And importantly, both consoles are coming out in the US before Black Friday, which is obviously when huge amounts of kind of units will be sold. But the other thing to note is obviously it's only coming out in 13 territories, the Xbox One, in 2013. So they are obviously UK and the USA, but also Australia, Austria, Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Mexico, New Zealand and Spain. If you live anywhere else, you've got to wait till next year.
That's it, 2014 was the mooted date for other territories. Interestingly, Sony is launching everywhere.
As far as we know.
As far as we know.
One console in some of the smaller countries, I don't know, but yes.
But this does make you think about, we were talking at Gamescom when Sony announced the PlayStation 4 date, whether there were production issues that were perhaps affecting when the consoles might launch. The fact that Microsoft's Xbox One is only launching in these territories, but it's launching day and date in all those territories. Meanwhile, Sony is clearly prioritizing the US market because of Black Friday. It suggests that there might be production quirks in both of those cases.
Well, I think also, obviously, when Microsoft announced that they wouldn't do a worldwide release, they must be funneling those units away from the smaller territories into the important ones, such as the US, to make sure they've got enough demand for something like Black Friday. I'm pretty sure of it.
And that will be a huge question for the first weeks of both of these two consoles. Can they meet the demand? And what is the demand like? Like, everything that we're hearing suggests that pre-order numbers for PS4 and Xbox One are stupidly high. Much higher than they were last time around.
The other thing that Microsoft has announced is that they are releasing more numbers of the day one unit. Now, that's the unit that comes with FIFA. And that's an interesting point because in Europe, you only get the pre-order incentive of FIFA if you've got a day one unit. Now, you haven't been able to get a day one unit for Xbox One for a long time.
Sold out.
So more units will come on the market. It'd be interesting to see how quickly they sell out. Because currently, if you want to take advantage of the FIFA bundle, you have to buy the premium pack that comes with the limited edition version of Call of Duty, which is like £600. Why not just buy a copy of FIFA? So anyway, that's interesting. Again, no specific numbers, but be interesting to see how quickly that sells out. But But now it's all out there.
It's all out there. It's all happening.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. This is the first time in such a long time that we've had two consoles going head to head like this. I think it's definitely last time there was a big gap. Yeah. This is proper head to head competition.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really exciting to see how those first weeks turn out. I mean, obviously the first few months of a console never says very much about how a console's going to do. There are consoles that have done brilliantly in the first few months and then tailed off horribly.
Yeah.
And consoles that don't really get going until their second, third year. The PlayStation 3 is a great example of that. That didn't get going for a good few years. But nonetheless, we've got a head-to-head competition that is going to be, I think, really exciting.
And I think both Sony and Microsoft are being incredibly aggressive, both with the games that they're signing up, but also the exclusives they're aiming to get. So I think there literally has never been a better time to kind of be into games. So, but again, which one are you going to go for? You should let us know in the comments below. But for all things next gen, keep it locked on IGN.